An annuity is a series of payments. So a level annuity is then an annuity where the payments are constant throughout the term of the annuity. Okay, so we have 6 types of level annuities, and these are all annuity certains. And what that means, an annuity certain is an annuity in which you know the number of payments that are going to occur before the annuity has occurred. So these payments are regarded as certain. The probability of them occurring is 100%. Okay, so we can divide these 6 level annuities into categories. So firstly, 3 of them are present value annuities and 3 of them are future value annuities. And then within the present value and future value annuities, we have 3 more categories, and these refer to when the payments are made. So obviously, present value annuities is when you take your stream of payments and you move it to the start of your time period, as you can see by all of these arrows. And future value annuities is when you take your payments to the end of the time period, as can be seen from all of those arrows. Now, annuities in arrears are also known as ordinary annuities, and they are sometimes called annuity immediate. Okay, and annuities in arrears are where each cash flow occurs at the end of its time period. So, as you can see in this first time period from 0 to 1, over here, our payment occurs at 1. So not 0, which is at the start of the time period, or anywhere in between, it occurs at the end. And same for this last time period N, the payment occurs at the end of the time period. Okay. And that's the same case for future value annuities. Now, annuities in advance are also called annuities due. Now, these are when the payments are made at the beginning of each time period. So if the annuity starts at a particular point in time, the payment is made at that exact point in time. And the payments stop one time period before the end of the term of the annuity. Okay. And one thing to note is that the term of your annuity in the time periods that it is being divided into is the exact same for all of these, or rather for these discretely paying annuities, is the same as the number of payments that occur. So if the annuity has a term of n years, there should be n payments. Now, for continuously paying annuities, they're also called continuous streams of payments. This is when we are having a cash flow occurring at every point in time in our term. Okay. Now, all of these left-hand symbols are the actuarial notations for annuities. Now, the N in all of these symbols is the term of the annuity, and in the discretely paying annuities, it also refers to the number of payments that are occurring. Now, all of these A's represent present value annuities, and the S's represent future value annuities. Okay. Now, you'll see that annuities in arrears have nothing on top of the A or the S, but annuities in advance will have 2 lines, and it can also be 2 dots. So sometimes you'll see something like that. Okay, and then continuously payable annuities have a bar on top of the symbol. Okay, now I highly recommend that you learn these formulae off by heart. It's really not that hard. So all the present value annuities have the exact same numerator, and this numerator is 1 minus v to the power of n. And the v in the numerator represents the discounting factor, which is 1 plus I to the negative 1. And the future value annuities all have the same numerator, and this is 1 plus I to the n minus 1, 1 plus I to the n being the accumulation factor. Now, both annuities in arrears, present and future value ones, have I in the denominator. This is the effective rate of interest in that time period. Now, the annuities in advance have D in the denominator, and D represents 1 minus V, or 1 minus the discounting factor, once again when V is 1 plus I to the negative 1. Now, the continuously payable annuities have delta in the denominator, and delta is the force of interest. And you can calculate delta by the natural log of 1 plus I. And the reason that's so is because 1 plus I is equal to e to the power of delta. So therefore, delta will be equal to the natural log of 1 plus I. Okay. So let's move on to a few examples. Jerry deposits a fixed amount into a bank account at the start of every month starting today. His account earns 11% effective interest per year. At the end of 6 years, he wants to have $48,000. How much should he deposit each month? Okay, so it's always best to draw a timeline. Now, our annuity has a term of 6 years, but our payments are made every month. So that's the same thing as our annuity having a term of 72 months. So our cash flows occur all the way up to the end of the term, and these payments are made at the start of every month. And at the end of this term, so notice that I didn't include a payment on the final day of the term, or on the end of the term, and that's because it's paid in advance. So for this time period, the 72nd time period, it occurs at the start. So at 71, at the end of 71, or the start of the 72nd period. Okay. And at the end of the period, he wants to have $48,000. So at time period 72, he wants to take out 48K. Now, at each of these time periods, he must invest a certain amount, which we're going to solve for, and we're going to let that be X. Okay, so let's set up an equation of value that represents this. So we have 48,000 as a future value, and that should be equal to this annuity of X payments. So we have X, and since it's a future value annuity, we have our symbol being S, and since the payments are made in advance, we include the 2 dots on top of the S, and the length of the annuity, or the term of the annuity, is 72, and also there are 72 payments. And now you might run into some difficulty with the interest rate, since this interest rate is an effective interest rate per year, but the time period that we are dealing with, or the gaps in time between each payment, is 1 month. So we should really convert this interest rate that is effective per year to an effective interest rate per month. So we're going to let that interest rate be J. Now, you don't have to do this all the time, but I do recommend that you use the interest rate that matches the distance in time between your payments. This will help immensely to simplify the thought process of this. And I'll explain after I've done this question how you could have done it without converting the interest rate just for your interest. But I don't recommend you do it that way. It's more difficult to think about. Okay, so let's write the formula for that so we can solve for X. So we have 48,000 is equal to X times by. Now, since this is a future value annuity, we remember that the numerator is the same every time, which is 1 plus I, or rather J, because we're using J here, to the power of N minus 1. And our denominator for an annuity in advance is D, which is equal to 1 minus V, which is equal to 1 minus 1 plus J to the negative 1. Okay, so what is J? Let's solve for J. So 1 plus 11%, which is our effective rate per year, should be equal to 1 plus J to the power of 12. So if we solve for J by taking both to the 12th root and then subtracting 1, we should get 0.008734593824. Now, I recommend you store that in your calculator so that you can just enter your saved value instead of obviously typing this out every time. And please don't abbreviate that to like 0.0087 because you'll lose a lot of accuracy with your final answer if you do that. Okay, so let's erase that so we can move on. So what you then do is you substitute that in for J, and your N is obviously 72. Now, if you solve that annuity, you get that 48,000 should be equal to X times by 100.5218202. And if you divide both sides by this number, you get that X is equal to $477.51. Now, really, the exact number is 477.5082655. But since this is a monetary amount, we leave it as that. Okay, so I did promise you that I would explain how you could solve this without using the effective interest rate per month and without doing that process of conversion. So if you were to solve this using the interest rate per year, then you'd have to keep this in mind. You'd have to keep in mind that 1 plus 11% is equal to 1 plus j to the 12. Okay, so then all that you do is you replace 1 plus j to the 72, which is the same as that, with 1 plus 11% to the power of 6. So you would then have 1 plus 11% to the power of 6. And then 1 plus j to the negative 1 would be 1 plus 11% to the negative 1 over 12. Now, you can see that this, while it saves you a bit of time in calculations, it's very easy to get it wrong, and it takes just as much thinking, because you have to go through the process, pretty much most of the process of conversion anyway. Or if you can do it in your head, that's fine, but I think it's slightly more risky, and I wouldn't really advise it. Okay, so let's move on to this next example. A continuously payable annuity is paid at a rate of 2,000 Rand per year for 10 years. Find the present value of this annuity, assuming the effective interest rate in this period is 5% per annum. Okay, so once again, let's draw a timeline. So our time period is from 0 to 10 years, and this is a continuously payable annuity where we have 2,000 Rand per year, and that's for 10 years, and our effective interest rate is 5% per annum. Okay, so let's set up an equation of value. And note that we want to calculate the present value. So we want to calculate what this continuous payment stream is worth at that point in time. Or rather, it's right, present value, PV. Okay, so the PV, the present value, is equal to 2,000 times by A, because it's an annuity, it's a present value annuity, and A bar, because it's a continuously payable annuity, and our time period is 10 years. So we write 10 there. Okay, so let's go and expand this. So we have 2,000 times by. Now our numerator for all present value annuities is 1 minus V to the N. Okay, now V, I said, was 1 plus I to the negative 1. So we have 1 plus I to the negative N. Now I is 5%, and N is 10 years. And our denominator is delta. But remember I said that e to the delta is equal to 1 plus I. So delta must be equal to the natural log of 1 plus I. And I is equal to 5%, so we should have ln of 1 plus 5% in the denominator. Okay, now if you punch this whole line into your calculator, you should get that the present value is equal to 15,826 Rand and 42 cents. Now also note once again that this is a rounded number because it's a Rand value. Okay, so let's move on to the final example. This one has a little bit of a twist in it. So an investor wants to invest a lump sum of X into a fund today and withdraw an amount of 50,000 Rand every 4 years over a period of 60 years. After 60 years, the fund should be completely drawn down. The first withdrawal will take place 4 years from today. The fund will pay compound interest of 7.5% per annum effective. Calculate X. Let's draw a timeline as usual. So our term goes from 0 to 60 years, but our payments only occur every 4 years. Okay, and it says that we want to withdraw 50,000 Rand every 4 years, with the first withdrawal taking place 4 years from today. So this is an annuity in arrears that we're going to be dealing with. So we're withdrawing 50k every 4 years, all the way up until the end of the term. Okay, and we want to know how much this lump sum of X is that we need to invest today in order to get out these 50,000 Rands every 4 years. Okay, now our interest rate is 7.5% per annum. Okay, so we're going to convert that into an interest rate per 4 years. So we have 1 plus 7.5% should be equal to 1 plus j to the power of 1 over 4. And that's exactly the same as saying 1 plus j to the power of 1 plus 7.5% to the power of 4. See, we accumulate that effective rate for 4 years to get the effective rate every 4 years. And that's the same thing as saying we accumulate the 4-year effective rate for 1/4 of 4 years in order to get the yearly effective rate. Okay, so we have to solve for j, and if we do so, we would get that j is equal to 0.335469, and then you should store this value into your calculator. Okay, so I'm going to move this to the side. Let's set up an equation of value. So our present value is going to be x, and this should be equal to an annuity in arrears, and we're going to use the a because it's a present value annuity, and in arrears we don't include anything on top of this a. And the number of payments that are occurring is 60 divided by 4, which is 15. Now please note that you mustn't put 60 in there, even though it's very tempting. And that's because our payments are only made every 4 years. So the number of 4-year time periods and the number of payments that we have is 15. So n is equal to 15 and not 60. Okay, and this is at j. Okay, and we should actually multiply this annuity by 50,000 Rand, because that's the payments that is occurring every 4 years. Okay, so if we solve now, we get that x should be equal to 50,000 Rand times by. Now remember, the numerator is the same every time, 1 minus v to the n, but v is 1 plus j to the negative 1, but we had an n in the exponent, and this n is equal to 15. And now our denominator for annuities in arrears is just the effective rate per time period, which is j. So if we substitute j into this right-hand side of the equation, and we punch that into our calculator, we should get that x is equal to 147,100 Rand and 50 cents. Now, obviously, once again, it's not exactly 50 cents, but we round it to 50 cents. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful and interesting, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section down below. I'll try my best to attend to them. Thank you for watching.